Hello friends, let us now learn some important points about the head injury. So first, in the head injury, let us learn about the skull fractures. Skull fractures are of two types. One, we have closed skull fracture. Second, we have open or compound fracture. Closed fracture are concerned by intact skin. There is no specific treatment required for closed fracture. Open fracture or compound fracture is associated with disruption of overlying skin. Treatment of open fracture is the repair of scalp, and we can do post-operative debridement can be done for open fracture. Then two types of skull fracture is present. There can be skull vault fracture or skull base fracture. Skull vault fracture can again be two types. Skull vault fracture includes the undisplaced skull vault fracture or displaced skull vault fracture. Displaced skull vault fracture should always be operated. Then we have base of skull fracture. Base of skull fracture include anterior cranial fossa fracture, middle cranial fossa fracture, posterior cranial fossa fracture. Depressed fracture causes break in both anterior and posterior table, and as a result this anterior and posterior table is broken. Now we will learn about the indications of craniotomy. There are three indications. 1. Depressed fracture greater than cranial thickness. 2. Intracranial hematoma. 3. Frontal sinus involvement. So these three are the indications of craniotomy. Then depressed skin. The fracture of bone pressed towards the brain causes depression of skin. Inner cortex of bone fragments have sharp ends. Then it can cause laceration of dura or blood vessels or brain. Treatment is we should do craniotomy and elevate the fracture and obtain the hemostasis. Second, skull base fractures. These can be anterior cranial fossa fracture. Anterior cranial fossa fracture is most common and it is seen in cribriform plate. Clinical features include these causes subconjunctival hematoma, CSF rhinorrhea, epistaxis, anosmia and frontal lobe contusion. It also causes periorbital hematoma, raccoon eyes or black eyes. Second, if there is middle cranial fossa fracture, it causes fracture to the petrous part of temporal bone. Clinical features include CSF otorrhea, leakage of CSF through the ear, or there can be paradoxical rhinorrhea which can progress to otorrhea, especially when the tympanic membrane is ruptured. CSF can also be lost from the nose. That is otorhinorrhea can occur, and there can be hemotympanum can occur. So one important sign is Battle sign, where you see ecchymosis which is present, ecchymosis or bruising seen over the mastoid, and you will also see 7th and 8th cranial nerve injury can occur and temporal lobe contusion occurs. Then the third type of skull base fracture is posterior cranial fossa fracture, where there is fracture in the occipital bone. Clinical features include visual disturbances, contusion of the occipital bone can be seen, and 6th cranial nerve injury, or there can be jugular foramen syndrome or Werner syndrome whenever there is fracture in the posterior skull. And paralysis because of jugular foramen syndrome, there can be paralysis of 9th, 10th and 11th cranial nerves with basilar artery injury may be seen. Then we have to learn about Glasgow Coma Scale score for head injury. In Glasgow Coma Scale, first eyes are open spontaneously for 4, then to verbal commands we give 3, to painful stimulus 2, do not open 1. Then verbal stimulus, if they open verbal stimulus if they are normal oriented communication, then it is 5. Then they communicate in a confused way, then score is 4. If they talk inappropriate words, score is 3. Then if they sounds are only seen, then score sounds only seen is incomprehensible sounds are seen, then the score is 2. If no sounds are are, if they do not talk at all, then the score is 1. If the patient is intubated, then the score is T for intubation. Then we have motor commands. In motor commands, the patient obeys commands. 6. Localizes pain. 5. Flexion or withdrawal. 4. Abnormal flexion. 3. Extension, score 2. And no motor response, score 1. So after we calculate the score, we grade the head injury into 4 types. If the GCS is 15 and there is no loss of consciousness, then that is minor head injury. And if the GCS is 14 per 15 and loss of consciousness, then that is mild head injury. If the GCS is 9 to 13, then that is moderate head injury. And if GCS is 3 to 8, then that is severe head injury. Coma, it is less than 8. Then we have NICE guidelines, which is our National Institute for Health and Care Excellence. So according to these guidelines, this is for frequency of neurological observation required in head injury patients. So that means how many times should we do examination in a head injury patients is seen in NICE guidelines. So according to NICE guidelines, half an hourly basis of GCS should be checked every half an hour. Every half an hour we should check GCS, and minimum frequency of observation of the patient will depend upon the GCS. If minimum frequency of observation of the patient for patient with GCS 15 will be, first 2 hours you will examine every half an hourly, then the next 4 hours you will examine every hourly, and the next 6 hours you will examine every 2 hourly. Then indications of CT scan. CT scan is done, indications include GCS less than 13 on arrival of hospital, GCS less than 15 after 2 hourly from admission, post-traumatic convulsions or focal neurological deficit, if there is suspected open or depressed or base of skull fracture, if there are more than 1 episode of vomiting, and in post-traumatic seizures. In all these cases, CT scan should be done within 1 hour. CT scan can be done within 8 hourly. Indications are age more than 65 years because of brain atrophy can cause trivial injury leading to significant injury in patients with age less than 65 years. Then coagulopathy like aspirin, warfarin, rivaroxaban, if there is dangerous mechanism of fall from height or road traffic accident, if there is history of retrograde amnesia for more than 30 minutes, in such cases CT scan should be done. Now if you see, investigation of choice for head injury, non-contrast CT scan is the investigation of choice because acute blood appears white here. If contrast is given, then CSF is white, also appears white, and so there will be confusion between the CSF and acute blood. So as a result, contrast is not given, so we do non-contrast CT scan for the head injury. So next we have to learn some important points about brain injury. Brain injury can be divided into primary and secondary. Primary brain injury includes, there can be neural damage which is attributed directly to the traumatic insult. That is, there can be shearing of neurons, there can be contusions or lacerations, or there can be diffuse axonal injury. Secondary injuries include, it occurs after some time and these are preventable. Causes include hypoxia, hypotension, increased intracranial pressure, decreased cerebral perfusion pressure, and pyrexia. We will learn about these in the next class. Thank you for watching.